I just reached 1000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you. Are they all going to leave after this video? Let's find out. Do I deserve any of my success? Well, how you define success depends entirely up to you, but there are certain parameters that we can use externally to judge someone's success. Personally, academically, professionally. And I haven't done bad in any of those parameters. Professionally, my YouTube channel just hit 1000 subscribers, for which thank you very much, guys. Personally, I just got married. I have a happy relationship. Academically, I have recently had more success than I could have ever imagined. I ranked top of the class at McGill. I got 6 different research grants and scholarships in the last couple of months, couple of years. And my research paper just got accepted at one of the very prestigious journals in IEEE. But let me tell you something. I have no idea what I'm doing. Do I deserve any of my success? Well, that is the question. YouTube recently asked me when I hit 1000 subscribers to create shorts to thank you guys for subscribing to my channel. Don't get me wrong, I am really thankful for everybody who is watching me ramble about my life and who is subscribing to my channel. But I was just feeling like a fraud. I was feeling like, what do I say? How do I say? Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much you're watching me. I'm thankful, but there was this feeling that as soon as I say that, as soon as I say it out loud that I have 1000 people who want to watch my content, or maybe too lazy to subscribe, they're gonna find out I'm a fraud. They're gonna find out I have no idea what I'm talking about. They're gonna find out I have no idea what I'm doing in my own life. And they're gonna find out I am not qualified to give advice to other people. I'm not qualified to give advice how to get into graduate school, how to get through graduate life, how to get scholarships. Even though I have all these scholarships, I have all these awards, I have all these medals stacked on my wall, I have no idea how I got here or what I'm doing. So I do feel like the minute I say to you guys that, hey, thank you for making me reach 1000 people who want to watch my content, who are finding my tips and tricks helpful, you're gonna find out that I have no idea what I'm doing, and you're gonna hit unsubscribe and it's all gonna go away. I won the FRQNT research grant. I won PO IPS scholarship, which is a US-based organization. I won Women in Engineering award. I won a research scholarship from my university. I won 3-minute thesis Eastern Regional Finals. I won a Lasim Day competition for a 3 minutes video explaining my research, and a couple of other awards. And this is not the first time in my life when I have won multiple research awards. All my life, I've never paid for my education. From my school, college, throughout my university, everywhere, I've been on scholarships. I've always studied on scholarships. I've sort of been a high achiever in my education, so always my grades were good enough to get me into great colleges, great universities with full scholarships. And yet, last week, when my professor asked me to submit my research paper for this Research Paper Excellence Award, but another award supported by FRKNT, there was this feeling, what if it's not good enough? What if they find out I'm a fraud? What if they figure out I have no idea what I'm doing, what I'm talking about in my paper? What if my research is not good enough? And it hit me hard. I'm not special. I'm not particularly smart either. Heck, most of the time I have no idea what I'm doing. The reason I've never applied to companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, Apple is because I never felt I'm good enough to work for any of them. I recently applied for an internship. It's a summer internship for PhDs at Ericsson. because some of my peers had summer internships at Ericsson, so I thought maybe I should apply too. It was actually one of my friends who had the internship there last year who suggested me to apply for this internship. And I got it. I got a summer internship at Ericsson. I have the offer letter in my hand. Well, not literally in my hand, but on my computer. 10 years ago, if I got that letter, I would have signed it within 5 minutes of receiving it. This time, I had 2 days to sign it. I did not sign it until the very last minute. I signed it a couple of days ago, right on the deadline, and sent it back. I accepted the offer, but the reason I was hesitating is the same reason I never applied to big companies like Amazon and Microsoft and other big names. There was this feeling again, what if I'm not good enough to work at Ericsson? The salary package that they offered me was way more than my salary as a lecturer at one of the 4 big institutes of my country. I've been a lecturer at GIK, Ghulam Institute of Engineering Sciences and Technology, and it's one of the biggest engineering universities in Pakistan. I've been a lecturer there, and when I got that offer, when I saw the salary package, albeit it's an unfair comparison because the currency here is much more different than the currency back at my home. So this internship is not particularly highly paid. One of the well-paid internships in my field, but still not particularly extraordinarily special. But still, it was really hard for me to accept that offer letter because it was way more than what I ever imagined. So I always have this feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm not the best person in my field. I'm not good enough for this particular internship. My research paper is not good enough for this research grant or this award. So every time I'm applying for one of these scholarships, one of these grants, most of the time I have the feeling I won't get it. I won't reach there. When I started my YouTube channel, I had the same feeling. Why would anybody want to watch my videos? I'm just a student trying to get through life, trying to apply to graduate schools and get in somewhere, trying to get some scholarships. And even if I do get it, why would anybody care? I mean, it's just so obvious. It's just so easy to apply for these scholarships. Anybody can get it. If I can get it, anybody else can. So why would anybody want to listen to me talking about how I got these scholarships, how I got into these graduate schools, how I got these jobs, how I got this internship? Why would anybody care? So I was really shocked again when YouTube told me you've reached 1,000 subscribers. I know 1,000 subscribers is not a huge milestone for a lot of YouTubers, but here's the thing. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I don't even post very regularly. Yes, I want to make more content. I want to post more videos. I want to help more students, but I don't consider myself a YouTuber. So it was again a big shock for me. So then it hit me again, 1,000 subscribers. Do I deserve it? What makes me good enough to deserve the attention of 1,000 people? I'm not good enough. I'm a fraud. I don't know what I'm doing. Do I have imposter syndrome? I don't know. You tell me. And if I do, what do I do about it? I have no idea what I'm doing, so I don't even know if I have this thing called imposter syndrome. So if I don't even know if I have it, how do I go about solving it? Is it a problem? Is it a condition? Is it a psychological thing? What do I do about it? I have no idea. I'm hoping you can help me with that. I'm hoping you can help me combat it. But there are some things that I have recently started watching. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about imposter syndrome, about what it is, about how do we get it, because for sure we are not born with it. I for sure wasn't born with it. In fact, until 2011, I was a pretty confident person. Yeah, I was. In any gathering, any company, wherever I went, until 2011, I was the most confident person in the room. In every possible company, in every possible gathering, in front of an audience of over 500 people, I was the most confident student. So what happened in 2011? How did I get it? Here's a little bit of background. In my first year of school, I got the first position in my class. I got a lot of gifts, a lot of congratulations. Everybody was very happy for me. In the second year of my school, I got the first position again. Third grade got first position again. Fourth year onwards, my brothers also joined me. They're 3 years younger than me. They're twins. So they also got first and second positions in their class. I got first again in my fourth grade. A little bit less gifts for me, a little bit less congrats for me, more for them. It was their first time. For me, it was my fourth time getting the first position. From that point onwards, I always got the first position in my class. And my brothers, they're twins, alternatively got first and second positions. So they always hoarded and occupied the first 2 positions in their class in grades. And everybody around me told me, it's in your genes. Your dad is a genius, so are you and your brothers. So this is something expected of you. I remember maybe in my 4th or 5th grade, when I came home after receiving my result card and I told my father, hey dad, I got first position in my class. And my dad was like, oh yeah, wow, that's routine. Tell me something surprising. And I myself also was very confident. Every year, I knew I could get the first position. Or rather, I knew I wouldn't get anything other than the first position in my class. I knew what I was doing. In my 5th grade, in Pakistan, we have this system called board exams. So that was my first time taking a board exam. My teacher told my parents that I got the highest grades in the center, not the board, but the center. And that's the first time I started discovering, okay, what's a board, what's a center? And when I discovered I didn't get the highest grades in the board, I was a little bit disappointed. In my 6th grade, we changed schools. I joined another school, a brilliant, very, very good school, again, fully free. And my principal, after the first few months of me joining the school, somehow discovered me as a brilliant, talented, star student. And she, in front of my whole class, told me, we want you to work very hard for your studies because you're going to appear in the board exams in 8th grade, 3 years from now. And we want you to score the first position in Faisalabad board for us. And I somehow wanted to do that. I knew I could, so I started working very hard for it. I was confident enough that I am good enough that I can get it. I studied really hard for my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. In my 8th grade, every day I was thinking about it consciously, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to get it. And I did. I don't know how many students exactly participate every year in those 8th grade board exams. The Board of Intermediate and Secondary Education, Faisalabad, says that millions of students participate in these exams. I don't have an exact estimate, but it's a large number. And I was the first position holder. I was the student with the highest grades in 8th grade. In my 10th grade, again in a board exam, I narrowly missed it because of a mishap in my practical exams marks. In my 12th grade, my college was putting extra effort, extra time and effort. I was in Punjab College, again on scholarship. It was the best private college in the city, and I was on full scholarship. I was not paying anything for my college fee. If I had to, I couldn't afford it anyway. And they were putting extra time and effort. They were giving us extra time with teachers, a bunch of students, me and some other students, that they were hoping to be board toppers. So me and some other students, we were getting extra tests, extra time with teachers to prepare for these board exams. And guess what? I got it again. I was first position holder in pre-engineering in Faisalabad board. That was in 2010. And that was the second to last year when I ever felt that I could get something, when I knew I was good enough for something. 2010, I didn't get the permission to become an engineer, to join an engineering university despite being the board topper in pre-engineering. So I sort of gave up on everything, on life, on my dreams, my hopes, and I stayed at home. I joined chartered accountancy as a subject I wasn't interested in at all. I hated accounting, I hated economics, I hated all the subjects I was taking, and I was intentionally failing them. Fast forward 1 year, I finally got the permission to join an engineering university. 2011, I had been away from science and mathematics and my regular studies, physics, for a year, but still I knew I could get in. I wanted to be an electrical engineer, and in Pakistan, you have to score a certain grade in the university entrance exam to be able to join electrical engineering. In the years that I was taking the exam, electrical engineering had the highest merit or highest score. You needed the highest scores to get in. And I knew I can do it. 2011 was the last year when I felt like a high achiever. When I knew I don't need to attempt university entrance exams for 10 different universities. I can just pick the university I want to get in, and I can just attempt the university entrance exam for that particular university, and I would get in. I never felt that confident again in my life. Before that, there were many occasions when I had been very confident. I had been a debater in front of up to 500 people audience. I had been a speaker. I had been many things. I had been participating in so many competitions that I was always confident that I would get it. But something changed in 2011. After that, in university, I was never confident enough. Even though I still had scholarship, I still had a decent CGPA, I never felt I'm good enough for anything, any of my grades, any of the scholarships I was getting. So how did I get this? How did I start having imposter syndrome? I don't know. How does any of us get this imposter syndrome? It's like when I was at a smaller level in school, when I was just a 5th grader or 6th grader, the less I knew, the more confident I was. And the more I started learning, the more I started knowing, the less and less sure I became of the things I knew. I'm pretty sure somebody said that in way more elegant terms than I did. When I got this amazing scholarship for my master's, I got in to Bilkent University in Turkey, in Ankara. It was a great scholarship. It covered everything. It covered my tuition, it covered my rent, it covered even my health insurance. Everything was free, and on top of that, I was getting money to study. I was getting money to buy food and clothes for me and do trips all across Turkey and Europe and go wherever I want. I had more money at that point in my life than I needed. It was an amazing scholarship. But I had the feeling all the time, I don't deserve this. I'm not good enough. This is an accident. They're gonna find out. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. After my master's, I went back to Pakistan, and I was not applying for any high-profile jobs because I didn't feel good enough. I was only applying for small, unknown companies, small jobs. At some point, there was this opportunity, there was this job open at Ghulam Engineering, Institute of Engineering, Sciences and Technology. And I just thought, okay, what's the harm in applying? Maybe I should try, because I love teaching so much. And if I wanted to teach, I had to start somewhere. I had to apply to some university. That was the only one that had some position open. So I applied for the position of lecturer. I went there for an interview. I gave a presentation about my thesis. I did not feel like I would get it, but I did. I got the job at one of the most prestigious institutes of the country, and I still couldn't believe it. When I got accepted for my Ph.D., it was the same feeling. So, how did I start having imposter syndrome? How did I become this person full of doubts from the person I used to be, the person who was always confident in her abilities, the person who knew what she's doing? How did I get that? I don't know. I have no idea. I hear that it's very common in high achievers, in people who get where they want in life. I am where I wanted in my life. I wanted to teach at one of the most prestigious engineering universities of my country, and I already did that. I taught at GIK for a year. Now I'm pursuing a PhD. Well, PhD was another one of my dreams. I wanted the name doctor with me. Well, I wanted the name engineer and doctor with me. So I have the name engineer with me, and I am now working towards getting a doctorate. It was a silly childhood dream. I wanted my name to sound Engineer Dr. Sadia. I'm working towards it. But I don't feel good enough. I watched a lot of YouTube videos recently. A lot of TED Talks about imposter syndrome. How do we get it? How to beat it? One of my favorite YouTubers, Ali Abdal, made a video about it, how he beats imposter syndrome. So one of the things that he said really resonated with me. He says, we get into this habit of spotlight effect. We think everybody is watching us. We think everybody cares so much about us that they're gonna find out we are a fraud. When the reality is, everybody is just as worried as we are. Everybody is just paying attention to their own performance in an act than us. Nobody cares, nobody's paying attention to you. So that's something that I think I can implement in my own life. I need to stop caring that anybody is watching, anybody cares. If you're watching, I need to tell myself that you're not thinking she's an imposter. Are you thinking I'm an imposter? I'm gonna do the same experiment that Ali did with his video. He asked people in his video that if you're watching until the end, please leave a comment with a mask emoji, the emoji with a red and blue masks in the comments. He wanted to see if anybody is watching until the end, because these YouTube analytics, they tell you that most of the people that are watching your videos only watch up to 30% and then everybody leaves. So if you have watched this video until the very end, leave me a comment, just an emoji or anything else that you want to say. I think we can combat it. I don't know how exactly yet, but I think we can, because none of us are born with it. That's the thing. We are very confident when we are children. We are extremely confident of ourselves. The society teaches us self-doubt. The society teaches us that we are not good enough. I want to know what are the elements that start making us feel like this, that teach us to feel that we are not good enough for something. And since this is an acquired feeling, since we are not born with it, I'm hoping we can get rid of this. If you know something that helps you, let me know. The way I'm combating it right now is just by external sources of validation, like number of subscribers on my YouTube channel or the more scholarships I get. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button.